Excuse me, sir. Are you Vince Martinelli?
Who are you guys?
We're with the NYPD Crime Lab. Mind telling us why you left Nightmare Pete's sideshow?
Look, I was tired of being the third wheel over at Nightmare Pete's. At first I thought I could outlast Virginia, but she wasn't budging. Now I'm just glad I got out of there before that body turned up. The show used to be just Pete and me, along with whatever freelance freaks we pick up for a show or two. But here comes Virginia. She joins the show. That snake, wrapping around her leg, which gets Pete doing the same around her finger. Chick's a total Yoko. She starts demanding more stage time. Finally, says she's carrying the show. She wants more than a third of the money, and Pete gives it to her. I wanted to quit as soon as she joined, but Pete told me he'd tell my parole officer I'd lost my job, and that could get me locked up. Oh, of a friend, huh? But he was desperate, needed my fire-eating act to get people in the door. I figured Virginia would fall first, but she just got worse. So I lined up this new gig and took off. Yeah, word travels fast on the boardwalk. Especially dead chick with a sword down her throat word. Something like that'll probably get them shut down. The crud on the shovel's just from when I helped Pete scrape up some junk from behind the theater a few weeks ago. Rearview mirror. I'm done chomping flame. I've been working up a new theater act. Old time, gruesome, Grand Guignol type show. As soon as I left Pete's, I told him I didn't want anything of me left behind.
The guy's definitely bitter, but if we locked him up for that, half the city'd be in jail, so we're gonna need something more on him.
Hey boss, what's the difference between you and my 6th grade computer teacher?
I have no idea, Adam.
You're not a 70-year-old woman, and you know how to use a computer. No. Okay. Do you mind helping me with something? I nailed down the limestone companies who supplied the area, but they're in no rush to return my calls. Maybe you can figure out if any of them delivered to Coney Island recently. Nice work. You better head over and find out what's been going on at Fantastica Amusement Park.
Fantastica Amusement Park's got a ways to go to be fantastic.
Amusing, Danny. Let's see what we can find out. That's not gonna cut it. Looks like something's missing here. think I should try something else. That doesn't seem right. Looks like we have a double murder on our hands now. Get a sample of that limestone, Danny.
Ready, done.
Heidi-ho, name's Lucas Trenton. I'm the owner here. Something I can help you with?
We just unearthed a body on your site.
My God, just wretched. A body? Some poor soul? This is a new low. A new and abysmal low, but I will not be scared away. I still have hope for this place. Junkies, prostitutes, freaks. Coney Island is a menagerie of lost souls. That's what I'm trying to change by building here.
What exactly are you building?
Fantastica Amusement Park is going to be a beacon of yesteryear. A place where you can bring your kids, ride a carousel, have a candy apple. Coney Island wasn't always a cauldron of debauchery, and it doesn't have to continue to be one. I love my city too much to let one of its old jewels crumble to nothing. My friends and associates think I'm nuts for trying to build out here, but Coney Island shouldn't belong to the criminals and perverts. Coney Island should belong to the good people of New York. I don't know what else I can say about it. A fire eater? Fitting nourishment for where those kind of folks will be headed. You have to be kidding! You're worried about litter with everything else going on here? Oh, no, I'm not familiar with that candy. The limestone was delivered about a week ago. I'm sure we would have noticed if a body came along with it. Some creep must have dumped her here.
It's never good when the only thing you bring back is another body.
Let's see what she can tell us about herself.
I've got your new Jane Doe prints lined up and ready to compare. You want to run them?
Yeah, let's run them. I'm ready as I'll ever be. Okay, her name's Monica Green. What do we know about her?
The rap sheet reads just like Bunny's, another prostitute. This could be serial.
He also lied about the shovel. That limestone would have been nowhere near the back of the theater like he claimed. I'd say that's enough to earn him a bonus round of questions. Vince. I've been looking at your rap sheet. You and that Ferris wheel have something in common. You keep circling back to the same low places.
Yeah, a few fistfights. Boys being boys.
And the prostitutes?
Girls being girls. Or sometimes boys being girls being girls. And thus, the fistfights. Look, if there's a criminal sociopath in Nightmare Pete's, it's Virginia.
Your passion for prostitutes and your history of violence are making you our prime suspect.
I care enough about a hooker that I killed the chick. Might as well get a girlfriend. Sorry, I'm not your man. Virginia Dettata ain't who she says she is. A couple weeks ago, after the show, the snooty lady calls her Vanessa Dalton. Said they took tennis lessons together at some country club. Vanessa didn't know I was watching, and she instantly drops her whole persona, her voice even, and starts talking to this snob about her parents' summer home. The whole caviar top deal.
What did Pete say when you told him about this?
I didn't tell him. He wouldn't believe me. And I was on my way out anyway. The way I look at it, someone like Vanessa, who'd pretend to be someone they're not, that's someone who's up to something.
What does that have to do with our 2 dead women?
One theory? Vanessa wants to take over the business. Already did a pretty good job at it anyway. And framing Pete for murder knocks out the last pawn in her way.
It's a bit far-fetched, don't you think? But if what you're saying is true, then we've only interviewed Virginia Dentata, not Vanessa Dalton.
Right. You want the truth about the shovel? We found a friggin' body. Pete and me. A couple of weeks ago, when I told him I was leaving, we met at the theater, 'cause he wanted to talk me out of it. We walk in, and the body's laying there, totally dead. Pete's stressing, I'm leaving him, bodies are popping up. Crappy night, you know? So I told him I'd do him one last solid, and keep the cops away from the theater. As much for my benefit as his. I took the body over to a construction site nearby and dumped her. Soon as I was done, I told Pete that was it for me and him. As friends, as business partners, as guys who dump dead chicks. Oh, and a little footnote here. The chick got dead on her own. We didn't have nothing to do with that part. That's the girl we found. Found, not created. Let me be clear. She was splayed out on the stage. The door had been kicked in, so it could have been anybody who came in and killed her. Sure. Being the fire eater there was a great gig before all the office politics ruined it.
If there's any truth to Vincent's tale about Virginia's blue-blooded past, there's bound to be traces of it online. Let me show you what I found. We've got her diploma here, too. Vanessa's business degree makes Vincent's cutthroat entrepreneur theory sound at least a little more plausible. And her chemistry degree? She might have picked up a recipe for a poison hotshot.
Sounds like it's time to give her the 3rd degree. Literally.
You just can't stay away, can you?
Well, you really are smarter than your upper register suggests. Do you remember this?
And I thought it would be enough to peel the bumper sticker from my car. You got me. Guilty as charged. I have an overpriced Ivy League degree. Daddy got it for me, and I just didn't feel right returning it. Bravo! So, is there anything else I can do for you, investigators?
We just have a few more questions for you, Ms. Dalton. We've been talking with Vince.
Oh, right. Guess I forgot to tell you about Vince. After they had some sort of spat, Pete asked me to pretend the guy never existed. It wasn't hard. Vince didn't really fit in at Nightmare Pete's. I studied business and science so Daddy would pay for my education. He always told me my love of theater didn't have a future. My work here is, I guess, a pathetic little attempt to earn his approval. I figure I turn Nightmare Pete's into a profitable venture, Daddy will stop pushing me to join the real freaks. On Wall Street.
Pete knows about your background?
Pete knows me as Virginia Dentata, Dark Mistress of the Amazon. Some people know me as Vanessa Dalton, Ivy League grad. We all play different roles for different audiences.
So, Miss Dalton, Pete has no idea about your business ambitions. Your plans for the theater.
My business strategy doesn't include murder. In fact, I've got an alibi for last night. I attended an alumni event all evening. Here's the program.
So you weren't with Pete last night?
While I was at the event, I assumed he was at home, but who knows? We agreed to alibi each other to keep things simple. I've got an idea. Why don't you kids hop in your smoke-filled mystery van and go ask him about it? Tell him I've moved on.
If Virginia wasn't with Pete last night, he could have been anywhere. Let's bring him in and see if he can tell the truth this time.